Good morning to everyone. Welcome back to the Sunday Summary. I am your host, Kyle. Back with me this week is Steve. Steve, it's great to have you back, and I've been excited all week to hear what you have to say about the Slot Out Brigade, your reaction to the game yesterday, and really everything in between. But first off, how you doing, man? It's good to have you back.
I'm excited to be back. I'm under the weather, so you guys will hear that in my voice. But missed last week, went to the Patriots game, which was nice. But yeah, I feel like there's a lot that we need to catch up on.
Yeah, no, there's a ton. So, all right, so you were out last week, and leading into that, we had 2 losses. And the sentiments
more than 2.
No. Leading into that week, like that week we had 2, or maybe not even. Maybe we beat Frankfurt that week. I don't know. I have to go back and look. But
yeah, you're right.
The sentiment around everything was that Slot needs to go, right? And that's ultimately what we were talking about, was that Slot needs to go. And I personally didn't feel like that was the right approach to it. I just feel like there's no in between. Like, fans are either completely like, I'm over this, Slot out, he's the problem, team sucks, see you later. Or you have fans, which I feel like a lot of us have them here, where they're kind of like, it's a chemistry thing, give them time, they'll be good to go.
Are you asking where I fall in that?
Yeah.
I think I felt all the emotions, like we all have. My first thought was, of course, this can't go on like this, so something has to change. And then the question then becomes, what needs to change? When you have a manager of any club that loses 6 out of 7, you're getting beat at home, you go from top of the table to, 7-10 points back in the span of a month. Typically, the manager is the one that has to pay the price. And I said it in one of our group chats. No manager would survive this. However, he won the league last year. We are one of those clubs that doesn't cycle through managers like crazy, right? We've been successful, so it's not as easy as get rid of the manager, bring in a fresh face that can figure it out. But I would be lying if there were times where I didn't think to myself, man, he has to go. Now, I wasn't completely Slot out brigade, as you mentioned. It wasn't something where I expected it to happen. But if they did fire him, I would not have been overly surprised. Let me just say that. Yesterday really changes things, I think, in our minds, right? What have you done for me lately? The recency bias. I think it was a good performance. I think we should have scored 4 goals at least.
100%.
I mean, we could have scored 8. We had so many chances and just weren't clinical. But hopefully at this point, we get back to the winning ways. And that was just a blip on the radar, and we'll forget about it in a few months.
I like that.
I think the good news is it's still early.
Yeah.
It's still early. There's still 20. What have we played? 10 matches?
Yes.
I think it's 10. Yeah. All right. So either way, there's more than 25 matches left. We still play Arsenal again. The league's not gone. We just need to see them turn it around consistently. I think, and rightfully so, Slot caught a lot of heat for the lineup he put out in the Cup. That's a guaranteed loss with that lineup, especially against Palace. And when you look at the fact that we didn't even have our first team on the bench, like those guys weren't even suited up for the match, he basically conceded that Cup, which is tough because I feel like we've kind of seen that in the past with Klopp where, maybe not the last couple of years he was here, but he would lose some focus or rotate much more in the Cup in order to get guys playing time, but also to give other guys rest. And that led us to believe that the Cups weren't as important to him, which is fine. But when you're coming off the back of 6 losses out of 7 or 5 out of 6, whatever it was, I wanted to see us go with a strong lineup and win that match and advance in the Cup. So that was really, really frustrating. But again, yesterday was a little bit of a saving grace. Feeling a little bit better now. Felt all the emotions the last few weeks. Let me just put it that way.
I think we all have. Good morning to everyone also who's joining us. Alor, what a Crocs 82, KD, Kyle Julius, what's going on? Make sure you guys slap that like button. So the thing that was bothering me too was number one, the lineup he put out in the Carabao Cup didn't surprise me, but I think it was more so the backlash he got for it, like the fact that it was a very, very weak lineup. Like he wasn't just rotating, it was a very weak lineup. And you're right, he conceded the cup. And leading into that game, the fact that you're coming off of the amount of losses you are, and then you concede the cup, that looks really bad on you. Going back to the first thing you said, I never thought that his job was in any danger. Even if he lost this match, I don't think his job was in any danger. And I think the sentiment of Slot out is strictly an emotional one. I don't think it's a logical one, in my opinion, because the evidence is there. We won yesterday and we're back to third in the table. Before yesterday, it's the end of the world. Everyone's talking about how it's the worst case scenario, and it pisses me off to no end. Slot's the worst manager for the team. He can't win with this team. He won with Klopp's team, but you win yesterday and everything's fine again. Oh, we're only 7 points off Arsenal. Great. We're back in it. And that just kind of shows how fragile the fan base is right now. It's like, everything was fine all along. It just took one win to make everyone realize, okay, everything's okay now. This team's going to be fine. And on another note, Szoboszlai is the real deal. Szoboszlai is just the best player so far this season. He's so good, Steve. And they put out a strong lineup yesterday. The best lineup, in my opinion. I think our best lineup was who was out there yesterday on current form. Maybe not skill, but current form. It was you had Gravenberch and McAllister, double pivot. Szoboszlai was in that 10. Salah, Ekitike, Gakpo, right? Bradley had a great game. Mamadashvili played. I mean, it was a great match all around.
I would agree with the lineup statement you made. That's the best lineup we have right now. And it was nice to just see. I felt like, I don't even know. I haven't looked at like match ratings. Sometimes I just like can't wrap my head around individual performances. But it felt like McAllister was McAllister yesterday. That's what it felt like.
He was phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and by the way, guys, let us know, how's the audio? It looks like something might be off with the audio, but I could be wrong.
Oh God.
I was just in my settings and I was in my settings and it's showing that my mic was making noise even when I wasn't talking a little while ago. So I just want to make sure we're good. I think we are though. But anyways,
something like that.
Yesterday was just a sigh of relief. And I'm looking at the table right now, and you're right, we're in third. Bournemouth's ahead of us. Nobody's worried about them. City has a game in hand. They could jump up to second. But when you look at the last 5, it's just loss, win.
Yeah,
and it's just insane to see that.
I'm trying to. I found, what is this, Opta Analyst, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I've been looking for in terms of like team stats and everything. But I couldn't. They don't have player ratings. At least I can't find them yet. So, but McAllister, I feel as if McAllister had played the best game he played all season. Although it hasn't. It seems like he hasn't played many. He played the best game he played all season yesterday. Szoboszlai, I honestly don't have anything bad to say about anybody yesterday. I don't know if you feel any different, but the game I saw yesterday was more indicative of a team that had a game plan, executed the game plan, and everybody was working together to get the result. Like you said, we should have had 5. I mean, on the attack, we looked much better. We were pressing much better. We were forcing turnovers. There were some defensive slip-ups, I feel like, early on in the game. I feel like we gave them some chances like first 10, 15 minutes. But overall, I was satisfied with how we played yesterday. I was nervous going in. That we could potentially lose that game to Villa. But we played well. It was a good match. Good match for the boys.
Yeah, Villa's a good side. Villa's, I mean, they're solid, right? They got some players. They got some chemistry. They got a good manager. So it just felt good to beat like a solid team. When we won in the
felt good to beat someone.
Who'd we just beat in the Champions League?
Frankfurt?
Who'd we just smack? Yeah.
Frankfurt.
That's like the only win we've had for like 8 weeks. And they're not good. So to beat like another Premier League side that's solid felt really good, I gotta say.
Yeah, that felt really good. And I mean, I have a poll up too to kind of get everyone's feelings on this, but do you feel as if this is a turning around point? Because there's no way that form could carry on. I mean, we're too good of a team to just lose matches back to back to back to back. But thank God we won this one because we have Real Madrid and then City. You have 2 matches that could potentially be really bad if you play even remotely close to how you've been playing the last 8 weeks, like you said. Do you think this is the turning point? Do you think this is enough to say, okay, we're good, now we can go in and play our best football against Madrid and City? Or are you still worried going into those matches?
I mean, they're always nerve-wracking fixtures, Madrid and City. But if we lost yesterday, this would be a much different conversation.
Exactly.
Coming up on those matches. So, turning point, I really hope so. Because, I mean, I feel like you just have to you just can't lose these next couple matches. Like, just get a result, even a point from these next 2, just to show that you still got it. We're out of the basement, right? And then the fixtures will lighten up after that. I don't know who we have after that.
Yeah, I'm in the process of pulling that up now. You need a result against Madrid. Honestly, I'd be okay. I never say I'm okay with this, but I am okay with 2 draws. I am fully okay with 2 draws.
Yeah, because losses just hurt the morale.
It's bad.
Stink.
It's awful.
Here's the good news. After that, we have Forest, PSV, West Ham, Sunderland, and Leeds. So it lightens up.
It does lighten up
after that.
Yeah, it does lighten up. Sunderland's in good form. Nottingham Forest, you can't. They're not bad either. Those are trap games, dude. Those are trap games. Leeds and West Ham, not so much. They're struggling, but those are trap games. And I think
Forest stinks.
Forest stinks. I just want to ask you, dude. Like, were you ever slot out? Because I know you and I have been in. I know we're going backwards a little bit, but I want to talk about this because we've been in group chats and I hear, or I can see like what you say about like how the team's playing and stuff like that. But I know you said no other manager would survive that. But were you ever feeling like the problem is the manager?
Yeah. I definitely was.
At what point? Was it after the last loss?
When did I send that message? Was it after the cup?
It was after the cup. You're talking about you said like it was always going to be that result with the lineup you put out.
Wednesday. Yeah, that was when we lost in the cup. Yeah, at that point, I mean, that night I was definitely like, again, not hoping it wouldn't happen, but thinking I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
Yeah.
And if it did happen, I would be okay with it. But then you're like, who are we going to bring in?
That's you took the words out of my mouth. I think impulsively, it's like, all right, slot out. There's the problem. We solved it. Who are you going to bring in? Who's coming in? Who's going to fix the team? Slot's the right guy. Slot is without a doubt the right guy. And there was maybe it was the Athletic that came out and said that the Slot has the full backing of the executive staff, of the owners. I mean, and obviously that's kind of a PR thing. I feel like because there was so much hate out there from fans saying, "Hey, Slot out," right? I mean, and so they kind of came out as, "Look, we have the full support," trying to revigorate fans and make them realize, okay, everything's fine, right? We're not like this is just a speed bump. Everything's going to be fine. And I honestly think that's what the team needed because you go and you beat Villa 2-0. Not only do you keep a clean sheet, which has been a problem in our losses where we concede first, but you score 2 goals at home and you don't win in the 90th minute. I think everything about the game was exactly what we were just craving as fans.
Yeah, and again, we could have scored way more. It would have been nice to just really put like 4 or 5 past them. They are a good team. But that was a really solid win. And I think you look at, again, it's like, what have you done for me lately? That match yesterday is like, we're on this emotional roller coaster, and right now we're up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hopefully we just stay up there because we were down at the bottom for a while.
We were going to get relegated last week.
Dude, we were the worst team in Europe.
We were. And that was the story.
The worst team in Europe.
Dude, that was the story going around. Everyone was saying Liverpool on current form are the worst team in Europe. And it's like, can we just back the fuck off for a second? Just relax. We are, but let's still relax.
Is to win.
I know.
You have to win.
And they should win. I mean, that's not a question, but I think it was just annoying to me. I was like, all right, I know we're losing. I know this sucks. But do we have to like jump off the bridge? Like, is it really that bad? We're 10 games into the season and I don't know. I don't like how it becomes so end of the world all of a sudden.
I know, and I want to get to this comment in a second, but the silver lining in this whole rough patch, I'll call it, that we were in, is that it's early in the year. You guys will remember a few years ago when we were doing great, and then the turn of the year came, and I don't know if we lost 5 in a row or we lost a lot of games. And I don't know if it was the year that Reese Williams and Nat and Kabak.
That's exactly the year. No, that's the exact year it was. I know exactly what you're talking about. We lost like 6 in a row at home or something.
Yeah, it was just like really, really wild stuff. And that felt worse that was worse. It didn't feel worse. This felt worse, given the fact that we were champions and we brought in a bunch of players that are supposed to be world class. This felt worse, but it's good that it happened early in the year. Get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Just get it out of the way. If you guys are, if folks are hurting over Jota or the chemistry is lacking or the manager's tactics aren't working, whatever the reason is, hopefully it's out of the way now. And we can just get back to winning ways. And I want to bring up this comment because Aylor says, what to me is the most surprising thing to see is how much money was spent on Wirtz and how little Liverpool actually understands what player he is and how to use him. And I'm going to take this a step further because I saw something from one of the pundits on Sky Sports or ESPN somewhere, and they said that they couldn't believe that Liverpool had played 15 matches this year or whatever the case may be, and they still don't know. Slot doesn't know what his strongest 11 is. And that really like resonated with me because if you think about it, it's like, well, now after yesterday's performance, we're like, okay, that's our strongest 11. But we wouldn't have said that 2 weeks ago or a week ago. We don't know who the strongest 11 is. With Isak out, it's easy to just put Hugo in, right? So like by default, but I wouldn't have been surprised if Isak started yesterday if he was fit. And maybe the game looks a lot different. But we don't know what our strongest 11 is for the best chemistry, the best form, because people are hurt, people are transitioning into the squad. It's been like a revamp. There's new players. You got Kirkesh, Frimpong. Frimpong's hurt. Kanate's off form. Wirtz is doing nothing. Isak's not fit. He's not in shape. Whatever the case may be. It's like we didn't know if we were going to play a final, who would be the 11 on the pitch. And that's a problem. To be this far into the season and not know how to put your best foot forward. So hopefully that's something we can figure out, because you have to do that. You have to know, if you have a match coming up, who gives you the best chance to win. And as of right now, we don't know that.
I'll tell you right now, it's that team that played yesterday. It's 100% that team played yesterday. And I think also Slot is struggling with who's the best 11, not because of, him just not understanding how people play. It's because every game, every player gives us something different. Like Salah has not been consistent. Wirtz has not been performing, right? Ekitike started hot and then he went cold. Isak hasn't been playing up to standards. Van Dijk and Konate haven't been playing up to standards. Kirkesh is a liability. You got injuries, right? So it's totally down to how much volatility is in the squad. I don't think if he had everyone healthy, everyone's on their best form, he knows his starting 11, but he had to change things up because he wasn't getting results. I think that's where people are getting it confused. I think yesterday's team, in my opinion, was 100% our best 11.
But I don't know. See, here's the thing. Before we visit this comment, I understand what you're saying. It feels like it's our best 11 because of the performance we had on the back of awful performances. But if Isak's fit, if Frimpong's fit, if Jones is fit, how does that lineup change? You can't sit here. No one can sit here and tell me that it would be the exact same 11 if they were all fit.
Maybe not.
See, that's the thing. By default, those players were put into the lineup because other people weren't available. But if everyone's available, what does Slot do?
I think if everyone's available, you see Frimpong and you see Isak. I've noticed that Slot is not starting Wirtz. That's like the third. I could be wrong about this, but that's outside. I think he started in the Champions League, but I think he's kind of at the beginning of the year, Wirtz was like every game he was in, but also Szoboszlai was playing right back. So there's another change or another factor you got to take into account. I think Slot looks at that game yesterday, Steve, and he says, "This is who I need to play."
Right, by default, though.
No,
because I would like to see Jones if he was fit. For
sure.
Who, I don't know. But I feel like Slot would prefer Jones maybe over McAllister.
But the thing is, you can bring on Jones in the 60th minute, the 70th minute. Like you get 5 subs now, right? Just because you start someone doesn't mean they have to finish the game, right? Gravenberch and McAllister that's phenomenal. You can obviously, I love Jones. You can make the Jones argument all day long. He's great, but McAllister at McAllister's best is that guy. He's playing right there next to Gravenberch. And Wirtz hasn't given me anything outside of his potential and what he's supposed to be to justify starting over Szoboszlai in the 10. Personally.
I know. It's tough. It's tough to say that, but it's true.
And let's go to this comment now. Part of what is frustrating is our transfer window went beautifully, but Isak will need time. Wirtz will need time. Kirkesh will need time. Hard to be big spenders and not get the immediate results. Right. And that's the internal battle we're fighting as a club and as a fan base, because there's the expectations that come with the price tags and the names you bring in. And everything is under.
The problem is the price tags.
What's that?
If fees were not disclosed to us as a fan base, I don't think we'd have a problem with what we're seeing as much. But the fact that these players cost so much, you're right. What a Croc 82 says, not get the immediate results. That's the problem. But if we didn't know what they cost, we'd be like, all right, they just take time. Fabinho took time. Robertson took time.
I always think back to the Fabinho example. I literally always think back to it. Yeah. It's just the instant gratification.
What we're seeing here with Wirtz it reminds me of Keita. We wanted Keita to come in and be the best player of all time. We were so excited for him. And he came in and he was just pedestrian. He was just average.
I know, man. And he had those games that were few and far between, but he had those games where you're like, dude, you are good. You are so good. And I think we'll get that from Vert, but I have confidence that Verts has the self-confidence and he's so young, dude. He's so young that he will develop and get that mental strength to like, okay, I'm in a different league now. I'm not the best player on the team anymore. I'm confident that'll come with Verts.
I'm very scared that we're getting to that point where he could, I mean, it's clear he's not the most confident player right now, but I'm getting scared that we're going to keep on this same path and it's going to get to the point where we're looking at maybe loaning him out or selling him after a year or two or something like that. And I don't want that to happen.
No.
Because he is a world-class talent and we need to keep him and let him just find his footing. Once he finds his footing, it's a different ball game. We just don't want to wait. We're tired of waiting.
No, we're tired of waiting, but also that instant gratification can be to the detriment of the player sometimes. Because in an ideal world, if the player just stays out of the media, like if he's not aware of anything that's going on, he should be fine. But it's not the world we live in. He sees everything. He sees everything that's said about him. You know, he has social media. He sees all of that. And you're not human if you don't at least internalize that somewhat, right? If you're seeing people saying like, you're a flop and all this other stuff, it gets to you. Now, of course, he's probably like, oh, I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm not a flop. But at the same time, it's still in your head. What's concerning to me, though, is you know how before Darwin, because I feel like Darwin, you can say Keita, Allison, Van Dijk all you want, but I don't feel like those players fall into the same category as Darwin and Verts, for example. But the big price tag players, meaning like you're going out and you're intentionally spending more than you want to spend to get a player. And it's like a reach almost. It's like it hasn't worked out. It hasn't, and it's, I feel like the way Liverpool did business prior, where they're like, all right, look, we're not going to spend this amount on this guy. We're actually going to find this pocket of 30 to 40 million of a guy who gives us the same production, money ball, if you will, and come in and do the job for us. Very rarely were there flops in that. But then the pressure with the price tag, that's the risk you run if you're paying all that money. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. I feel like I am overthinking it a little bit. But when you're buying a 21-year-old for 100+ million, there's going to be pressure on that kid. There's going to be pressure, dude. And it's I
think he's felt pressure though. Like he's played in big matches. He won the Bundesliga. He's performed.
I'm not saying he can't.
Competition.
I'm not saying he can't deal with pressure. And I'm not saying he's not talented either. But there is something to be said when you're coming up through a system and you perform in that system and you do well. Like there's no external pressures on you. It's just kind of like you're this guy who's good, you're playing in the team, and you end up, you know, being this young wonder kid who plays in this system really well. Yeah, you're the best player at the club, but then you get attention from outside teams, a huge price tag coming to the Premier League, the biggest media market in Europe, in the world. There's undoubtedly pressure. And now you have hate from rival fans saying like, this guy's a flop, this guy's a flop, when the flop conversation doesn't exist unless you make the transfer. Like at Bayern Leverkusen, if he didn't develop, he wouldn't have developed. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I look at it. Like we're not looking at Connor Bradley as a flop or, Bajcetic as a flop. We're just looking at them as young kids who haven't broken into the side yet. So I think there is a difference.
There is, and the problem is for Verts is there's no time.
None.
Like, you don't have time. Preseason doesn't count. You're expected to come in and perform right away, because every match in this league is so damn important. And it's the same where he was before, right? Every match in top flight football is damn near a must win, or you have to perform to some extent. And he just doesn't have the luxury of time for us to ease him in. It's like, nah, dude, like, you're world class. You're playing. Let's go. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And I hope he does soon, because, again, every match is so important that we can't just like take our time with him. You know what I mean?
You can't develop him.
It's not like we're undefeated,
Yeah.
or we were, and when he was playing, and we were still churning out wins. And then it's interesting because you look at the slide we just went on where we lost 6 out of 7. There were some games where he didn't play much.
That's an interesting point.
So is it his fault?
It's an interesting point.
It's not his fault completely, but we put these microscopes on these big money players, even if it's not their fault that we're losing. Like Isaac, I got nothing bad to say about his play necessarily. I would like to see him have 5 goals already, but I don't look at him and go, oh man, he's been terrible. Right? I have looked at Verts and said, wow, he was terrible today. But in some of those games, we still won.
Yeah.
So,
no, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. It's a tough situation to be in, which is why I think that's the psychological side of being a professional athlete, especially after a big money move like this, can't be overlooked. And I think, I don't know, sometimes you just got to give the players grace. Like, that's kind of where I was coming from with the chemistry thing. Like, give these guys time. There's a lot of new names in here, a lot of different types of players coming from different leagues, and just give them a little bit of time. Just give them a little bit of time. I think they'll end up working things out. And even if it is a transition year where we don't win the league, we finish top 4, like 3rd or 4th, I'm okay with that. It's not going to live up to our expectations, of course, but I am all for the players we signed. I'm not upset at all. I'm really not. However,
we have
what?
We're 7 points back. There is 28 games left to play. Play Arsenal again. We play Arsenal again. That's a 6-pointer. And then aside from that, we just need them to drop 4 more points than we do. It's that simple.
It's going to be fine.
28 games.
It's
Nobody else is lighting the world on fire. Arsenal has scored like 70% of their goals from set pieces. It's part of the game, but they're not carving teams up. What I will say is they've only let in 3 goals.
Their defense is exceptional, and it has been. They've had a great defense for 3 years. Yeah. Yes.
So, like, it's one thing to see. I mean, we've let up 14.
Yeah, yesterday was pretty cool that we didn't concede. But I think Arsenal too. I saw this interesting, just like a clip I saw, but take Brentford, for example. Brentford having 10 men in the box defending, in their own box defending against us. And the clip was basically a critique of what has the Premier League become? Who can score against this? And I was kind of like, it's a strategy. First off, I was like, teams can do that, whatever. But that's where set pieces come in. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be able to break down a low block from open play all the time with 9, 10 guys in front of the net. It's very low likelihood. So you do have to be good at set pieces. You have to win corners. You have to try to win free kicks. Like, I don't want people to like bat an eye at that, or I don't even know if that's the right phrase, but I know you said Arsenal scored 70% from set pieces. That's impressive. That's impressive. And I don't know if we're great at defending set pieces this year. I actually haven't even paid attention that much to how many we've conceded from set pieces versus open play. But I just feel like if we're struggling to score goals against the Brentfords, the West Hams, whatever teams sit low, you got to score from set pieces, right? And you look at Arsenal. In fact, the goal we scored against Arsenal was Soboslai's free kick, was it not? And so it's like sometimes you need a little bit of magic to beat these teams that have great defenses, or at least their strategy is just completely preventing you from playing your game. Switch it up. I mean, and that video just made me kind of realize, like, yeah, teams are gonna just sit and camp out in front of the net. You gotta switch it up. You're not going to be able to beat every team the same way every week. And I think that's what makes the Premier League so great.
The other thing is we're tied with the most goals scored in the league. And
that's actually interesting.
And what I'm hearing is all of the banter around Wirtz, Isak, Salah. We've scored the most goals in the league. So, yeah, they could all be better. We understand that. But we have to really take a look at the defense. That's what we have to look at. We're letting in too many goals.
We are.
14 goals. Aside from the bottom table teams, that's the most in the top 6. United are in 7th. They've let up 16. Brighton's in 10th. They've let up 15. Brentford in 12th. They've let up 16. I mean, we've let up more goals than Everton, Kyle.
So that's kind of what I'm getting at, right? So we don't play a low block. We don't. We're letting in goals on... I would love to see how many goals we've let in on the counterattack versus, like... I don't know. I don't know if there's a specific stat for that, but you look at a team like Everton, if they play a low block, they're not going to let in as many goals as us because we play a possession-based attacking style. So maybe that stat is skewed, but at the same time, even if you scored the most goals in the league, if you're conceding, what'd you say, 14 goals? That's not okay. It's not, especially with
1.4 goals a game.
That's not good enough. That's not good enough at all. That's not good enough at all.
Meanwhile, Arsenal 0.3.
Wow.
We're letting in 1.1 more goals per game than Arsenal. That's the difference.
Their defense is good, man. They really are.
So we got to look at the Kirk Edges of the world. We got to look at Van Dijk a little bit. He's great, but there's been some times where we're like, come on. Kanate, I think he's starting to get back to it a little bit.
I never saw.
We've had a lot of rotation at right back too.
Yeah,
you know, and
God, yeah.
McAllister, who's a big part of how teams will get through to our back line.
Yeah,
was out of shape or had a knock or wasn't in great form. Gravenberch missed a game or two. There's a lot of different variables here. And I feel like we saw Endo a lot in the beginning of the year, and now we haven't seen him much.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing I'll say, too. If you're talking about recovery, like box-to-box recovery, McAllister's your guy. Even Soboslai, to a certain extent, you could argue. Gravenberch isn't that. Gravenberch is great at, ball retention, distribution, right? So is Jones. But in terms of ball recovery, winning balls back near your own box, I don't feel like Gravenberch is that guy. So when you have McAllister out, or like you said, Endo's not playing, it becomes tough to win the ball back when they beat your midfield. Because, defensively, Van Dijk, Kanate, whoever, they're not trying to win the ball back. They're trying to, block a shot, or they're trying to stop a cross. I mean, I watched yesterday's game and I saw the best midfield we can offer. And that's ultimately where you're going to win the game, because that's where we've lost them, is between the lines, through midfield. Pressing hasn't been there, ball recovery, whatever. And I hope Slot sees that now, because I want Gravenberch, McAllister, and Soboslai against Madrid. personally. That's who I want. I want to see that midfield against Madrid. Bring on Wirtz later in the game. That's fine. But bring him on for Gakpo. Leave Soboslai in there. You know what I mean? Because against Madrid, there's a team that can embarrass you. If you're playing like you had been, pressing wise, you're gonna get destroyed, dude. Madrid, that makes me nervous.
Tough.
Like, oh, I mean, Trent's gonna get booed, number one, which is gonna be kind of crazy to see. All right, Trent's gonna get booed, or I don't know. What do you think? I think he gets booed.
He'll get booed.
He'll get booed heavy. God. What else we got in here? Jordan here. What's up, Jordan? I expect us to be better second half of the season. Keeping last season's midfield and defense together is key. We can rotate the forwards. That's what made us great last season. Yeah, we. It's unfortunate that Leone got injured and then we didn't get Gahey though, because that would provide a little bit of cushion defensively. Because God forbid one person goes down, it's kind of a
or
tricky.
Two.
Don't say that. We can't.
Robertson's got to play.
After the last two games, yes, Robertson has to play.
He needs some credit. He needs to play.
You need to extend his contract too. Give him a one.
They'll do that.
What's that?
I don't think they'll do that.
I don't think so either. But he needs a 1-year deal or a 2-year deal. Gravenberch's role has been tweaked this season, as some of you might have seen. Suddenly, he scores a lot more goals. He's been given more freedom to go forward, although at a cost.
He has scored.
That's right. Actually a really good observation. Yeah, he has scored. But I think that plays into his game, Steve, does it not? I mean, he has this CDM role isn't traditionally what he was playing. Like he was like a center mid, like kind of like a box to box guy. And although he's great at that role, when he's given the freedom to go forward, he's actually pretty creative on the edge of that box, and he can score. He's really a good player, man.
Oh, he's awesome.
Aylor says, I think you'll be lucky if you see Trent on the pitch at all.
Well, I think Carvajal's got something wrong with his knee again, so I think we'll see Trent.
Let's go into that real quick. So Madrid in the Champions League, coming to Anfield. And you got any thoughts on that match, man? You think that's a winnable match?
Yeah, I do. It's just, as long as everyone's healthy from yesterday, I think you go with the same sort of lineup. Bradley did good against Mbappe last time he went out.
He did, yeah.
Against him. And we're home. The place will be rocking. There's no doubt.
Electric. Champions League, Madrid. Oh, goosebumps.
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, it's a winnable match.
It's
a winnable match.
Anfield at night, there's just something different about it. It's just electric. Yeah, it's a winnable match. It should, and you need a result. You need points too. I think that the loss against Galatasaray, I know there's a lot more games in the Champions League now with the new format, but still, you never should have lost the match against Galatasaray. So you need a result against Madrid. And I know the Frankfurt win was good, but you need a result against Madrid at Anfield. And you very well should win, but I'll take a draw against that. And then you have City coming up at the weekend. And Steve, this one against City, I think we'll get up for it. I think now that I'm thinking about the matches that we have coming up, I think the team got up for Villa because they know the run of games that they have coming up. They're like, all right, we got to lock in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's exactly why they played the way they did. And I think we'll be fine. We'll see some good performances. Who knows? Maybe we'll even see Wirtz start to get involved a little bit more. But I take a draw for both games personally.
Yeah, I would take a draw for both games, but I'd like to see, is the City match home?
It's a good question.
I'd like to see us beat Madrid.
That would be really good for morale, let me tell you.
Let's see. This match, it's at the Etihad. So I'll take a draw there, but it is a league match.
You take a draw there, but let me ask you this: would you rather win against Madrid or City? I think it's an obvious answer.
City.
Oh, damn! I was going to say Madrid personally.
No, because I think we need the points more. If I had to pick one,
Yeah.
but that's because I'm still holding on to the fact that we can win the league.
Well, there's no question we can win the league. We have 28 games left.
I know.
We have 28 games left, guys. If you don't think we can win the league, being 7 points out, you're crazy.
I mean, this week is so big because it gives us a chance to put everyone back on notice about who we are.
Yes. And just shut everyone up. And I think that's what they need to like. They're professionals. They're looking at it that way. But you have Madrid at home in the Champions League. You're built for that. You come to Liverpool to play those matches, dude. You walk out there and you lock in. And oh my God, it's going to be an electric match. Do you have any score predictions for that? We'll end with that.
I'd like to see 2-1.
I'm surprised you didn't say 3-1. I've been getting used to the 3-1 from you, bro.
2-1 would be nice, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw.
Yeah, draw. Both teams are going to score. There's no question that Madrid are going to score. I think we'll score as well. But like what a croc said here, all games at Anfield are winnable. Yesterday, big for morale. And also just everything about the game, from 2 goals, clean sheet, kind of all of our concerns were addressed in that match. And it's not like you're going up against a crap team. You played Villa, a good side, at Anfield. And I loved that the crowd was in it. Like, the crowd was supporting the team. It didn't seem like a dull crowd to me. And I love that. That's what the team needs when you're going through hard times. I don't want everyone to forget that you're supporting Liverpool because you love the club, okay? You're not annoyed and you're not gonna stop being a fan for 4 losses, okay? That's when you need to support the team the most. So the slot out stuff, that's why it pissed me off. It's like every team's gonna lose. Just get behind them, let them lock in, let them beat Villa 2-0. That's it. That's all I gotta say. Steve, I hope you feel better, buddy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Thanks for everyone for being here. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the matches this week. And until next time, take care.